You know, in factory automation, the hottest technology these days are collaborative robots. By collaborative, we mean robots that don't require the traditional fencing guarding around it, that you can work side by side with people. But when we talk about collaboration, what do we really mean? I'm with Steve Green, he's president of KUKA Canada. Steve, we're standing in front of a KUKA collaborative robot. It has no pinch points, really, it's designed so you can sort of touch it, interact it. But when we say collaborative, what do we really mean? I mean, how close can we work with these things and what can they really do?
Yeah, it's a good question, Jim, because there's a lot of misnomers about what a collaborative robot actually is in the marketplace right now. A lot of the collaborative robots that we see in the market right now, they actually have safe stopping technology for a guardless type of arrangement. And that's great, right? If you have a robot working without any guarding and somebody comes up and bumps the robot, it will stop safely and you're not going to get injured. So that's a fabulous technology. This particular robot has that functionality as well, but plus a whole nother level of programmability that allows for true interaction with a human being. So as you said, it's obviously a very sleek design, so we don't have pinch points. We can touch this robot, but you'll notice that as I'm touching it, it's actually responding to the pressure that I'm putting on it with my hand. It's not just stopping safely, but it's actually got programmability that allows it to respond and interact with me in certain ways.
Yeah, it yields a little bit, I've noticed. You're pushing it off axis and it pulls itself back on.
Correct, yeah. And the amount that it's allowed to move off path can be programmed and adapted to suit the application. In this particular demonstration, it's also set up to respond to certain inputs on it so it can actually initiate the next step in a program. Again, true interaction. So now I want to, without being a controls person, I'm not a controls person, I don't have a PLC in front of me or any kind of an initiation button, I'm just going to push on the robot and it's received now a signal from me based on pressure or torque that I've applied to an axis. And now it's responded and stepped forward in its program. Here it's actually waiting for me to do something now, so I'm going to hand the robot a cup.
And that's a simple paper coffee cup we're looking at here?
That's just a standard paper coffee cup. So now the robot doesn't have any eyes, there's no external sensors in this environment, and it wants to know if I really gave it one. What we see it doing right now is a tactile search. Is looking to see if there's actually a cup that's been placed onto the gripper, and of course there was. So it came down and it touched the table with the cup, and based on the torque or the resistance that was initiated from that contact, confirmed to the program that there was a cup available.
Steve, that's interesting. There's no proximity sensor here, there's no machine vision system whatsoever. It inferred the existence of the cup by measuring torque, as attempted to push the cup down against the hard surface.
Exactly, and that's one of the big differences with this robot and the other collaborative robots that are on the market. This is actually a sensitive robot. So there's 7 axes on it, and every axis has a torque sensor that's providing rapid feedback at 1 millisecond interpolation cycle to the controller that the program can now use to make decisions about its environment and how it should work. This is very popular technology for doing tactile assembly operations, such as assembling gearboxes. In this case, we used it for a very simple tactile search of a paper cup.
You mentioned gearbox assembly. This is gearbox or variations on the theme are very, very common mechanical devices. Typically spline shafts, hubs, sheaves, anything that requires indexing or clocking before you can press it in. Could you use this technology that way to determine whether you're aligned or not?
Yeah, absolutely you could. So what you're talking about is that tactile sensitivity that we have as humans, and we can feel that very subtle difference in positioning of a gear or a spline shaft as we try to assemble it into another object. You absolutely could have some sort of a search criteria set up on a KUKA iiwa robot of this type, where you're doing that search and you can detect those positions through that torque feedback to ensure you have good alignment of a part before you advance forward to complete the assembly. That's exactly the kind of thing you could do with this technology.
On the other hand, the packaging world, the pick and place folks, a major problem they've had historically is you got to know that there's a product there so you can put it in the box. And to get around that, of course, we've seen proximity sensors, machine vision systems, all kinds of added on technologies to trigger the robot to tell it, don't pick, because there isn't a shampoo bottle there. Now there is, do it. Could you program this in a way in which it simply picks something up and just literally bangs it against the wall, touches something just to verify it's there, and then carry on it?
Yeah, any type of process that you could envision validating, inspecting, or creating a signal to initiate further into a program through a torque feedback or some sort of tactile sensory input, you could conceivably program into this robot.
You mentioned assembly, packaging, pharma, perhaps major markets for this product?
Yeah, absolutely. There's medical applications, pharmaceutical applications, even a lot of industrial applications. We have customers who are using this in machine tool environments, like I said, the gearbox assembly. So really the limits for this robot are unknown right now, but every sector has a potential to make really good use of this kind of technology.
Advanced sensing technology built into collaborative robotics for multiple industries with simplified processes, says Steve Green of KUKA.